So, Sonic Frontiers was the last mainline Sonic game, all the way back in 2022. It received all kinds of praise from pretty much everyone that played it at the time. I think a lot of that was probably the hype talking, but I still think this game is pretty good, even though I'll be the first to acknowledge its long list of problems and incredibly unfinished nature. But naturally, after so much time, we're all thinking, what's next? How is the open zone formula going to evolve? Well, I'm here to kind of create an answer and make a prediction based on Sonic games of the past and Director Kishimoto's own words in order to guess what the next game will look like and how it will play. Right now, it honestly feels like we know nothing about this game, but actually there are a lot of things that we know are coming, possibly as soon as the next game. Director Kishimoto has said a lot of things that he wants to bring to the series. One of those things that people constantly talk about is momentum, or as some like to call it, the M word. I'm honestly really tired of the discussion, but it wouldn't be a Sonic video if I didn't bring it up. We all know Sonic's whole appeal in the beginning was the fast-paced, physics-based gameplay, and how over time it was abandoned in favor of more automated gameplay styles. I'm mostly on board with the fanbase when I say Sonic should have that again. It is a core part of what made him different, and it's strange that he just lost that. I don't want to discredit games like Unleash and Generations though for having different gameplay styles, but as much as I love the boost formula, I think it's run its course. Back to the topic at hand, do I think that momentum belongs in Open Zone Sonic? Well, I don't think Sonic needs it, as there have been plenty of games that have shown that it can be fun without it, but I think it would be a good way to shake up the gameplay. On one condition. The world just has to be designed for it. This game has to be made with that in mind. You always see these physics mods for Sonic Frontiers, which are cool and all, but it's mostly just the player going flying off of everything, because the world very obviously wasn't designed for this type of gameplay style. If we're gonna have true Sonic physics, I want there to be a reason to use them. I want the world to be designed with them in mind. Now, despite all this, I don't think we're gonna get any momentum physics in the next game. I would love to be wrong, but I just don't see it happening. I know Kishimoto said he wanted to include it, but you gotta remember, a lot of things he said were probably not entirely true. At least not as of this game. Like, if everything he said he wanted was going to actually happen, we'd have an entirely different game, and I don't think that's what Sonic Team wants. Unfortunately, Sonic Team doesn't want to make the kind of game that relies on using physics and being demanding of the player in that way. It's not a result of incompetence, it's just not the kind of game they want to make. But anyway, let's talk about the graphics. A lot of people are saying that they want a more stylish approach to Sonic, and while I think that would be awesome, I'm confident they're going to try realism again. It's possible they could do the same thing with Asia Ruins and Desolate Lands to rip off Breath of the Wild, or maybe even try the whole Sky Islands things and rip off Tears of the Kingdom. But if they want to do something really special, I would love for them to have like an open zone city that's teeming with life and NPCs and whatnot. It would create a pretty stark contrast between the Desolate Lands of Frontiers and this game. And honestly, I could see that happening. I don't think they'll drastically change the art style though. I've never been opposed to games that look realistic, especially since we haven't really had that yet with Sonic. Like, yeah, we've had games that try realism, but none of them actually look like a true next-gen game. And I'm down to see what Sonic Team can do with the new technology, especially since the Switch 2 is coming and is going to be more powerful than the Switch 1. The reason Sonic Frontiers looked the way it did was because of the Switch 1. It held them back so much in the technical department, which is why you see things like worse poppin'. I don't know if they'll abandon the Switch 1 entirely since it is where Sonic sells best, but I really hope that they do. It's been holding Sonic back for a very long time, and I want to see these games reach their full potential without things like being cut or split apart because of weaker hardware. Same goes for the Xbox One and PS4. These consoles have more than run their course already, and unless we move forward, the team isn't going to be able to reach their full vision. Now, I do still predict they're going to support the Switch 1, just because of money and sales and whatnot. I do think it will be better optimized though, at least, since Sonic Team is definitely getting a way bigger budget and hopefully more time to work on the game. So far we have an open world game with a big city, no momentum, and a realistic art style. Sounds boring, I know, but we're not finished yet. I think the open zone will be handled very differently than in Sonic Frontiers. I could totally see the world having a bunch of NPCs like in Sonic 06 that give you side quests. I definitely think the cyberspace equivalents will be integrated into the themes of the worlds instead of being recycled level design with reused assets from Generations. As for combat, I definitely see it being the same, but with new moves replacing the old ones. I don't think combat necessarily belongs in Sonic, but I would love to see what it could look like if done right. I think Sonic Team is going to stick to their very simple style of combat that was in Frontiers. Maybe some new combos, but I don't see it being more in depth. Hopefully, I'm wrong about that. I don't have anything for what the story or bosses could look like, so that brings us to the end. What do you think this game will be like? This list is really just predictions, but I could be completely wrong and none of this could end up happening. Hopefully this video doesn't age too terribly, or maybe it should. We'll probably find out a little bit in Sonic Central in June. We should be getting the first look for this game possibly next month. That is crazy. You know what else is crazy? Today is our 4th giveaway Monday. I will be announcing the winner of the previous week today, who won the last drawing, and this week we have the first ever merch, the TRZ hoodie. And don't worry, because if you don't win this week, we're doing another hoodie for our last giveaway Monday next week. To enter, comment hashtag giveaway Monday 4 as well as your hoodie size. And please make sure that you are allowed to receive packages and give out your address to a stranger on the internet, like me. With that being said, thank you for watching, and God bless. You hear that, dude? There's like a helicopter outside. Are they looking for somebody?